Yes, good afternoon session. Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the session of SAP now. Good afternoon, Nagraj sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
Yes, sir. Sir, you may please start the sessions.
Sure. Madam, I hope the Excel sheet is being shared.
Yes, sir. It's shared.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So I think now we have gone into the practical side of understanding what SAP, of course, we have just started to look at the basic things about the SAP FI module. And for most of you, I think probably I may be right in assuming that most of you are new to the SAP systems. Okay. So it could be a little all these things what I'm trying to, and basically my concentration is more on these set of people. I'm assuming that they do not have the hands-on experience on SAP, right? So what did we do today morning? We saw the process of logging into the SAP system. So we saw the processes. Okay, I also said that passwords are confidential and case sensitive. So please be very, very careful. And this is not supposed to be shared even to your closest of your closest colleagues or friends. All right. I will tell you the reason why we don't do it in the live scenario. When we proceed in the SAP sessions, you will see to it that how each and every transaction also contains the name of the owner of the transaction, the name of the person who's responsible for the transaction, that also gets recorded in the SAP system. So that is exactly, you will see how, but it is enough for you to know that there cannot be a transaction which SAP doesn't have the information regarding the user's name or the person responsible for the particular transaction. I will show you how it gets recorded. Okay. Now, so we saw this process. I was entering into client 900 and I gave my user ID and the password. We saw these two screens. Okay. So we also understood what SPRO was. Now, we also got exposed to something called as transaction code or transaction codes. For example, your SPRO itself is a transaction code, FB50, FB60. So you saw all this. Okay, what is this transaction code? Transaction code in SAP is a shortcut key for the user to directly enter into the transaction. Now, what is FB50? The journal voucher transaction. What is FB60? Vendor transaction, vendor invoice. What is FB70? Customer invoice. And we also saw a very big transaction code starting with an S underscore ALR underscore, a big number you saw. That also constitutes the transaction code. Correct? But please do not try to use this transaction codes in the very initial stages of learning SAP. The best way for you to learn SAP could be to navigate. navigation in the sense I took you to the end user screen where I clicked on accounting, came down to general ledger, then came down to document entry, then came down to enter document. That is an option, right? So please try to learn SAP in the same form. And this transaction codes, it is not really mandatory for you to remember all this, but over a period of time, definitely will get accustomed to these codes. You need not have to put in special efforts for you to remember this. All right. Now, because there are thousands and thousands of transaction codes in SAP, and I am talking only from the finance model. I am not involving any other model, MM or SD or whatever. Okay. So we also saw a concept called as favorites. What is a favorite? You are the user customizes this work screen. So the user customizes the way he works. Suppose I'm attached to the asset accounting department. So you saw how I would make that particular transaction, which I am supposed to be carrying out on a day-to-day basis, because I don't want to go through the effort of pulling out the menu, then doing all this. No, I don't want to do it. All right. Now, and what else did we see? We also saw, so when we were discussing about the concept of consolidation, we understood what are the first steps for you to initialize this particular consolidation principle. So we studied, so till yesterday, we were talking about only one component in the organizational structure called as the company code. Now, today morning, I added another entity or another organizational element called as the head office. But for us to learn our topic, none of this, the company, the creation of a head office is not at all mandatory. But even then, I created a head office with the name Tata HO. Just an example. But at no point in time, you're going to do all this. Okay. And so we already have a template company code created by somebody, GM01. And we connected the head office to the company code. So you saw the place assignment. I went to the place assignment, pulled out the company code GM01 and assigned Tata HO as a head office. And I did the same thing for GM02 also. Yeah, so these things happened in the morning session. Clear? Now, so what were we trying to discuss? Before lunch, we just had a look at our favorites. That how would the user customize his work screen, his easy access screen. And I also stressed upon the fact saying that probably you may not be having the access for SPRO because it is not simply there in your course. Okay, now even this is very, very practical, even in your live scenarios. Not all the end users would be given the access to enter into the SPRO screen. So if you remember, I entered a specific transaction code. Since I was not given the permission to work on the transaction code, what was the message that SAP flashed? It said, you are not authorized to use the transaction code. So you may end up getting the same messages. Okay, it simply means that you are not supposed to enter that particular space in SAP because it is simply not your transaction. All right. Now, we also saw when we were looking at certain fields. What are the fields in SAP? So when I pulled out a screen, when I was about to create Tata HO, the country, the currency, the language, if they are called as a fields, the name of the company, the address, they are referred to as the fields. Now, when I opened up certain fields like your currency, your country, your language, it had a drop down option. What do I mean by drop down? These fields, they had already got some data created by SAP, already being created because you saw the set of standard currencies, the standard international languages, the standard countries in the world already being created in SAP. So in the project, you need not have to create country, you do not have to create language, you don't have to create currency. All right, they are already created by SAP. Now we saw GM01 and we also saw a template. What was a template company called? Example. And I said, this is already pre-created by SAP and it forms the standard SAP system. You will not see any SAP system without these two entities, or at least 0001. Why? Just like you had the countries, just like you had the languages, just like you had the standard international currencies already being predefined. SAP also has a sample company code with the code 0001. In all the systems, wherever you open an SAP system in the world, you can see this template company code or the sample company code. What do we do with this? I will tell you. Slowly, you'll be in a position to understand. Now, I also made a point saying that we only use it for creating something else in SAP, but we do not directly operate or enter any transaction in this company code. In which company code? 0001. For all our activities, we are going to use only GM01 to enter the transactions. So we are going to use our GM01 and not 0001. And this is the discipline which has to be maintained as a person knowing SAP. All right, you cannot work on 0001. And I told you the implication. Once you have disturbed any standard in SAP, SAP will not help you in any way. And we also saw, because on the other day when we were discussing about ABAP, I said all the programs, each and every screen in SAP, whatever you open, is driven by a program specific to that activity. We also saw that when I opened FB50, that is the place where we enter the journal voucher, it was governed by a program. A program written in ABAP was controlling the screen. And when I opened another report, that was ruled by another program, that was governed by the other program. So like this, each and every screen is controlled by a program written in ABAP. All right. So we were looking at the drop down option. What is a drop down? The existing function F4, the country, the currencies, the language. Correct. So how do you look at the list of the existing data? You simply have to press F4 or that particular button. I will show you this, not a problem. Now, what are the other things that we need to know about the SAP system? Just hold on, I'll log in to the SAP system. And please, if at all you want to understand the process of login, please let me know. I will show that. OK, I will show it time and again. That should not be a problem. So I'm entering into my SAP system. OK, I have opened the easy access. I will just share that screen with you. This is your favorite AS01. And please ask me if you need anything more. OK, I will tell you what favorites are. So let me show you another feature of SAP. I'll go to the same place. This is the place where I enter the journal voucher. The shortcut, what you're seeing on the left, where I'm moving the cursor, they are the respective transaction codes. So I click here. These are all the fields I said. This is your F4 drop down. See, this field has a document date, has this particular drop down option. Posting date also. But what about this reference? Do you see that it has any help or any F4 drop down menu? It doesn't have. OK, so now I want to know what this reference field is. I don't know. What reference is this? You may be asking a question. So how do I understand what is the meaning of this particular reference? This is a standard SAP screen. This screen you will see across the world. Whichever SAP screen you open, wherever you open the SAP system and you enter into this particular transaction of entering the journal voucher, you will definitely see this. Now I want to know what is this reference? I don't know. So in that case, what I would do is I would visit that field. I would I would simply highlight that field and press F1, help key. I have pressed F1. See, now there is a brief explanation as to what is the definition of the term reference. You saw something called as a reference, so you can see the explanation for that. So what do you mean by reference? So you can, each and every field will have this help feature. You can go to this field also and press F1. It will tell you what is this document header text. So this happens for each and every field.
So
if I press on, yes, madam.
So the screen is check on easy access only.
You're not able to see the help menu?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Now, I wanted to understand the meaning of reference. So what would I do? I would click on this field and simply press the function F1 key on my keyboard.
So still the screen is stuck. Sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, yes, yes. Now do you see the help menu, madam?
No, sir. Now the screen is not shared.
Now the screen is not being shared.
Yes, now visible, sir.
Yes, madam. Now do you see I have an explanation for, I'll do one thing, madam. I'll just share the desktop itself,
Okay.
because that will be much better.
Yes, sir.
Madam, now you are able to see the SAP screen.
Yes, sir.
Now, I wanted to understand the meaning of the field reference. I do not know. So what do? I take the help of SAP, enter this field and click on the function F1. Madam, now I hope you're able to see the something
Yes.
called as a performance
Yes.
assistance.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So this is another wonderful feature of SAP. You can see or you can get the explanation for each and every field by simply going to that field and pressing the function F1 key on your keyboard. Okay, it is applicable for any of this, any of the fields. All right. Now, let me go to the reference field again. Press F1. Now you know what is a reference, what is the reference used for. Do you see a spanner like icon here? Technical help.
Yes,
So
sir.
this will give you the technical information about that particular field. What is the technical information? At this present moment, please don't get into understanding what is a technical help, but try to understand that there is also a technical information for each and every field in the SAP screen. So click on this panel. You will get to know the technical side of this field. Clear? This is also there in your study content. Now, when I have to explain about the database, I will definitely tell you what is a table and all other things. So that's why I didn't explain about this technical help in a greater detail. Don't worry about this, okay? But now, as far as the present moment is concerned, there is always something called as a help to give you information about the specific field in SAP and also the technical information about the fields. All right. Clear? Now, just hold on. I'll just see the study content. Favorites list. Ah, there is another screen. Okay, I'm sharing the desktop. Fine, not a problem. Now, in the morning, I just showed you about this. Clear? The same thing is applicable to one of the slides in your study content. You saw this? Madam, you're able to see the study content, right? Yeah, you're able. No problem, because I've shared the desktop. Clear? So we saw the favorites list. So we saw the what is a command line, command field or the command box, whatever name you may call it. Not a problem. Okay. Now to see this, the system and all other things, I will go back to SAP. Now, where do you see all this? More system. You saw the same options in your study content. This is how you retrieve. Clear? So what did I do? Just hold on. Okay, you're able to see. Not a problem. Once more, I go to more, go to system, and you see the same screen what you saw in your slide. What you saw in your study content, the same thing you're seeing. So this is how you navigate within the SAP system. Clear? Now I'll go back to the study content and explain. If at all I have missed out on anything, I will explain. So there is a demo and a practice. So I have already shown you how the demo and the practice slides they work. Please make use of them. So here we are talking about the transaction codes. So by now we should be familiar with what is a transaction code. Your FB50, FB60, FB70. So what do I mean by a transaction? A transaction code is nothing but a shortcut key for entering into your specific transaction. Where do you enter? You enter it in the command box. Now there is something called as you prefix /n followed by a transaction code. And the transaction code most of the times is always 4-character. FB50, FB60, FB70, but you also have more than that. FBL3N, FBL5N, FBL1N. Okay, so it is not necessarily that there is a fixed number of characters in your transaction. Okay? But each and every transaction will be having a transaction. Especially in your easy access, you can definitely see how your transaction codes they work. Okay, I simply enter the transaction code in my command box and it straight away takes me into the desired transaction. Now, what is the /n/nxxx/o? We'll check it. I go to SAP. What is the /n? It is /new. Okay, so what happens? After entering the transaction /n, after entering the transaction code /n, I simply click on enter or I can press the enter key on my keyboard. So what happens to the SAP screen? Just watch. Okay, I'll explain it in a better way. Just hold on. I need to log in. So you can also see me logging into the SAP system. Okay, now let me assume that this is a plain SAP screen with easy access. All right, now I'll enter the transaction code prefixed with /n FB50. Or let me assume this. I am in the asset opening screen. I go to AS01, double click. What is it into? It is in my create asset screen. By mistake, I have entered into this particular transaction. Now I want to go back to the journal voucher transaction. How do I do? From the same screen, I want to go back to the journal voucher screen. So here, what I do is I prefix it with your FB50. FB50 is what? The journal voucher entry transaction code. And press enter. Now just see what happens. It takes me into the previously, which screen was I in? Create asset. Now I'm in the journal voucher screen. Enter GL account document. So now do you see how it works? Okay, so whenever I want to toggle between two different transactions, this is exactly what I want to close the current transaction and move to a new transaction. All right. Now, this is how your /n works. It closes the old transaction and opens a new transaction. Now, I'll open another session. I think probably by now you should be comfortable with the alternate term for a screen. This is the journal voucher entry screen in SAP. Now, I want to simultaneously have a look at the report, some report. I do not want to mention what kind of a report, but I want to see some report. So what do? I want to open a new session. New GUI window. I click here. Now can you see along with that screen, I also have a blank easy access session. Now totally how many sessions do I have? I have 2 sessions. Can you see one is the general ledger account document, which is still there, and the other one is the easy access. Clear? Now, there was another transaction /O /n was it opened a new session. Now, what does /O do? Enter. Now, can you see it gives me the overview of the number of sessions what you have opened. Session 1 is your general ledger account posting, which we have already seen. At this particular time, I have opened another blank easy access screen. So I have 2 sessions. Are you able to understand? So this is what your /O does, /O. Clear? Now, /EX. We have other. We have something called as /END /NEX /N followed by EX. So what does this do? So /END takes the confirmation from the user whether to exit from the SAP system or not to exit. What do I mean? I'll give /END, just see /NEND and press enter. So the SAP system asks me whether you want to quit from the SAP session or not. Clear? I would say no. But now, if I give /NEX /NEX, it simply, without asking for your permission, it closes the SAP session. It logs off. It is similar to this logging off. Okay. Now, if I press enter on my keyboard, it simply logs me out of the SAP session. I'll press enter. See, it will ask me for no permission. It will not ask me for any kind of a permission. It simply quits out of the SAP session. So this is what your /N /O /NEND /NEX. It is Take your time to understand all this, not a problem. I will move on. So you will have the demonstration. Please go through that. What else do we have? Help features. Please read them. We already saw the F1 help. We saw F4, F1. So you saw this. Clear? You remember? So we also saw the technical information for any specific field. We saw the F4. What is F4? The drop down. So not for all the fields you will be having this F4 option. Clear? So you have a demo. Now, by now, at least a couple of terms you should be in a position to understand. Client, company code, only these two. For the current moment, it is enough for you to know what is the client, what is the meaning of a client, where do you enter that information, and what is the company code, where do you see it. Clear? Master data concept, we will talk about it later. So our summary, to summarize the whole session, navigate through the SAP initial screen and use the transaction codes. Please do not bother about using the transaction codes for the current moment. Okay. Navigate through the SAP menu itself. Okay. Understand the various help options. F4, F1. Learn about the various modules offered by SAP. So we have already got an insight into what are the functional modules, what are the technical modules. Clear? So this is exactly what we have to, how we have to navigate. Clear? Madam, I'm open for any questions if they have any.
Okay, students, you have any questions pertaining to the topic? Just let us know. We'll wait for 2 minutes for the questions.
Yes, madam. Yeah. And students, please take time to understand whatever has happened till now. Okay.
Sir, in the meantime, while they post their
Yeah.
questions, I'll tell them how to download the SAP Access.
Sure, madam. Please go ahead.
SAP
Yeah.
GUI. Yes,
Please go ahead. Yeah.
just
Students, this also is a very interesting and a very important thing what madam is going to talk to you about. So I was till now I was talking to you about the GUI, logon pad, launch pad, and I told that it was a very initial step. Now madam is going to go through how you need to download this. Okay, madam, I'll stop sharing.
Yes, sir. Sure. I'll just share the screen. Just a moment. So is the screen visible?
Yes, madam. Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. Okay. So students, now you have got for this is for new students. Old students might be knowing how to download it. This is for new students that I'm showing. Those who have got this energy with their portal. Okay. So for them, you have to go to learning material. In that there is SAP. Then here we have something called as SAP GUI installation guide. You have a PDF document also, as well as the video, how to download. One moment, let me zoom it more. So for here, there will be a link. I'll show you that link also. What you have to do is click on that download button. Then this option will come, download or connect more apps. You have to click on download. Then after download, there will come a message shown as download anyway. This message will pop up as shown in the screen. You have to click on download anyway. After downloading, what will happen after it will download? After downloading, this type of folder will come, zip folder will come in your downloads. Then you have to click here, right click on this folder because it's a zip file and extract all. Okay, after extracting all, then this type of message will come or screen will appear. Then you have to click on extract. Then the complete download process will come. The SAP GUI will start extracting and the file will get downloaded. And such a type of folder, that means first it was zipped, now it has been unzipped, and the unzipped folder will also come. Extracted folder will come. After this, you have to open that folder. This type of this is the folder which you have. When you double click on it, there will come a folder such as this BD NW. Then you have to double click on that. Click on press 1. Then click on GUI. Then click on Windows. And click on Win32 folder. Then in Win32 folder, there will be many folders and files. Click on Setup All. Once you click on Setup All, then this type of message will come. Then you have to click on Yes. Once you click on Yes, what will happen is the file will be getting downloaded. That is, the GUI will be getting installed. You have to click on Next. Then click on Select All and click on Next. And then afterwards, the directory where you want to select, click on Next. Then again, you have to click on Next. Now the file will be installing slowly as this process will follow. Wait till it gets 100% completed. And then you have to close it once it is 100% complete. So on your laptop, on your desktop, such type of icon will appear as SAP log. So here you have to double click. Once it is downloaded, this type of folder will appear or this type of icon will appear, shortcut. These two will appear, SAP Business Client and SAP Logon. Click on SAP Logon. You have to double click. Then after double clicking, you have to click on New. Such type of screen will appear. You have to click on New. Then after clicking on New, there will come Connections and Shortcut. Click on Connections. Click on User Specified System here. Then after that, you have to make Custom Application Server. Click on Custom Application Server. Okay, so Custom Application Server, here it is mentioned here. So for you it will be blank. Now go in this help document, these descriptions are mentioned. You have to copy paste this, means you cannot copy from here. You have to keep this help document ready, and once you get downloaded, copy this thing and paste it. Copy means you have to type it out. EME server 2, ER2, this 00 and this 104, 211, 210 and 165. All these you have to type it out on your screen, because on your screen this will be this descriptions will be empty. This parameters will be empty. You have to fill it up with these things. Once you enter it, then such a type of screen will come. Then you click on next and then click on language as English and then click finish. Once you click finish, such type of a screen will appear here. So once this screen appears, what you have to do is click on EME server 2. One moment. Then here is the main part which comes. Client and user and password. Such type of screen will come. Now, where do you get this? I'll show you. You can see the screen, right? Here, SAP. You can see this SAP server credentials. Nagraj sir, is it audible? Sir, is it visible?
Yes, madam. Perfect.
Yeah. So SAP server credentials, here will be the client ID, user ID, and password. If you click on this, you will get this. So for every student, that is a unique client ID and user ID and password. So you have to click on this. Here, when you click on password, this is the initial password which you want. Okay. So this screen here, you will get initial password. So what you have to do is this password, you can type it out here and then it will ask you to reset the password. Wait, I'll show you that also. I think so. We have that. No, that is not there. But what you have to do is you have to click on, you have to reset your password of your own choice. Just remember, here you have to type your password. This is a dot here. You can see in the password there are dots. So do not remove the dots. The dots will not get removed. You have to type your initial password here only. Type it on the dots. Then when you click enter, there will come a message of reset your password or reset your password. You have to reset your password of your own choice. Remember that password nicely. Note it down somewhere because it is case sensitive, as Sir said. So you have to type it out that password. Once you type it out that password, so then this type of screen will appear. Just a moment. This type of screen will appear here. Yes, this screen will appear. Then you can practice accordingly. And remember, you have some transaction codes only. You cannot use, as Sir said, you cannot use SPRO because it is only for the consultant, not for the end users. So there are certain transaction codes which are mentioned here. You can see there is a user manual. If you click on accounts receivable, you can see some of the transaction codes which are mentioned here. That the street code is VA11. Your T code is this. So the T codes which you can use that are mentioned here in this. So you have limited only access, accounts receivable, accounts payable. Then this is end user, whatever you can use for the T codes. Server selling FBNL, L5N. So all these you can use. Only particular type of T codes you can use, and these are already mentioned here. You can look at it and practice accordingly. And then you have your installation guide PDF which I showed. Then you have the video, and for downloading the GUI, you have to click on this link. Once you click on this link, you can start downloading. I already have in my this. So I will not do the process, but once you click on this, the same procedure as per the help document you have to follow. I hope you all understood, students. Hello?
Pretty clear, madam. Yeah.
Yes. I'll unshare my screen now.
Yeah.
The SAP, just a moment, sir. SAP server credentials are there in your Energy Vidya platform. In SAP at the top, SAP server credentials that is mentioned. It is not in Energy 360, it is Energy Vidya. For the new students, Energy Vidya. For old
Madam, have
students, you
you,
will. Yes, sir.
madam, have you shared any screen? Because
No,
nothing is
sir. I
visible.
have unshared it. I have unshared it.
Oh, it's okay. Okay.
Yes. I'm just mentioning it to them that for new students only Energy Vidya who have got the portal, they will have the SAP server credentials. For old students, you will be getting the SAP server credentials shortly. So please wait.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You can continue and share the screens.
Okay, madam. Yeah. So students, probably this was very helpful for you all. So this is a trigger point for you to start working on this is a starting point for you to start working on SAP. So till now you had just heard me talk about the GUI, logon pad, launchpad, but now the process is for you to download. How? You just saw madam explaining what is a document. There is also a PDF and there is also a video which was going to assist you even before you actually carry out the download process. Clear? So please go through both your document, your PDF document, as well as the video so that you'll be more confident in downloading this. A sensitive operation, but not impossible. Okay. Yes. And one more point which I wanted to add. People who have already got this logon pad or the GUI on their systems need not carry out this activity. You need not have to reinstall. It is a one-time activity only. Okay, so some of them, I presume that maybe a small percentage of you people would have got access to the SAP system. Maybe a local vendor or some people would have already started working. So this is just a one-time activity and this icon needs to be downloaded only once. That's it. Perfect. Now, do I see a few questions on the Q&A? Okay. The password is a required entry every time you close and reopen the system. All right.
So,
Yes, madam. Yeah,
sir, one more doubt they have. I'll just clarify them.
sure, madam. Sure. Go ahead.
So students, this SAP GUI is a very big file. It cannot be downloaded on phone. It can be downloaded only on PC or laptop.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
please
Yeah.
note it down.
So this will occupy a lot of space. So you need to have powerful systems, and it is not possible on your mobiles. Okay. So okay, somebody was asking. Okay. GM01 or G video stock.
So now your screen is not shared, sir.
Yes, madam. I have still not shared the screen.
Yes.
Just hold on.
So one more question, if I can clarify.
Sure, madam. Please go ahead.
Yes. So students, for that course content that you all are telling, we regret that there is the screens of the course content has changed. So we are checking at our end And we'll get back to you for the course content once we get the data from this, from SAP. Because students are not able to access the course content, sir.
Oh. Mhm.
Yeah. So what we'll do is once we get the correct data, we'll mention to you where to find the course content. As upgradation is there, so ours, yeah, this time it is there.
Okay, okay. Okay, somebody was asking if this is really worth the time what we are spending. Else, the institute wouldn't have taken up the decision of asking you people to go through this course. So I hope it is really worth it. Now, do you think you will be directly able to work on S4 HANA? You will not be able, you will not even able to understand the initial things of S4 HANA without knowing what is SAP ECC, what was happening in SAP ECC. You will never know. It is like you not learning the bicycle and trying to ride a geared mobile. So which is simpler? Which is sensible enough to learn first? Your bicycle, right? So this is what I compare your statement. Is it really worth enough for you to go through this course as we are already on his 4 HANA? This is all what I can tell. Okay. Yeah. So just a moment. And please note that this course, as I've always been telling, if people are looking at S4 HANA, people who are claiming that they've already worked on some of the things, we are catering to the requirements of the freshers in the course. And yesterday, I also saw a question that people do not even have the laptop or the desktop. So let us respect those people. All right. And let us respect their requirements and their position. Right. And as far as HANA is concerned, please hold on. Try to digest what is ECC first, and then let us try to even look at HANA. Okay. That is all what I can tell you from my experience. Things, dear students, let me put it this way. Things look like a lullaby. They look like a storytelling course when I show you all the screens. But please try to access SAP and do the same things what I have already done. You will see the fun. You will see the difficulty. Okay, people I have found people finding difficulty to even navigate through the systems. Okay, and let us not even talk about S4 HANA for the moment. So let us respect the others in the session and let us cater to their requirements. All right. Yeah. I hope that answered the question for a person who says, is this really worthy enough to, as we are already on S4 HANA, is it really worth it? So that is my answer for that. Okay. And yeah, let us not get disturbed by such things. Let us go ahead for the other people. Now, so somebody was asking, what is 0001 and what is GM01? Both are the company codes, but GM01 is created by a user and 0001 is created by the SAP people themselves. As a part of the standard system, 0001 company code is delivered to you along with the SAP product. Now, since we are allowed to work on the ER2 SAP systems, you are seeing GM01 as your company code. But if you open any other SAP system across the globe, you will not see GM01 at all. You will be seeing only 0001 because GM01 is simply created for our purpose. Here, I'm talking about our team now. Okay, but whereas 0001 is available globally, This is the difference between your 0001 and your GM01. I hope I have answered that question. Okay, now, madam, anything else which I left out? Any question? Let me just go through the Q&A section
Yes, sir.
again.
I'm also checking. I'm also checking.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, somebody wants me to explain ER2 and ER7. Okay,
Yes.
I'll explain that. GM01, 0001, I've already explained. Oil protein, secondly, I have not received energy content. Yes, transaction codes are just like your shortcut keys. Yes, you're very right. Okay. So for people who have already downloaded SAP, there is no question of you uninstalling your GUI and reinstalling it. No, it is done. Your installation is done. All you'll have to wait for is you'll have to wait for the SAP system credentials specific to this particular session. Okay. So regarding the assessment and things, please hold on. I think you'll be informed about that. There'll be a session for that also. Okay. Now, what is SAP ER2 or EH7? See, if this is what you're asking for, these two are two different SAP systems belonging to project 1, belonging to project 2. Your EH7 and your ER2, it is nothing but the name given, the short name given for the system ID. Your project 1 is identified by the system ID EH7. Your project X, your project Y, your project Z, your project A, project B, project C. How many ever projects you're working on, it is identified by a system ID. This is your system ID. That's it. Nothing. This is your explanation of which project you're working on, which server, on which SAP server you are working on, and this is your system ID. Okay. I hope I have answered that question. Yes. Oh, okay. We have already seen. Now let us revisit the. So we have seen some of the things. F4 help. Somebody was asking me to explain what is F4. What is this F4? I will log into the SAP system and then tell you. I'm on the SAP Easy Access screen. Just hold on. I think the server has slowed down. Just let's wait. So since you will not be given access to the consulting side of SAP, I will stick and I will concentrate more on the easy access side. But since I have the authorization to enter into the customizing screen, I will show you the flow of things. Okay, now let me take a transaction for example. So you can see next to the document date, there is a field. All these contents, they are called as a fields in SAP. As you can see, there is an icon next to the field, next to the empty box where I need to enter this information. There is a box. This is your F4. What is F4? I need to pick up the information which is already available. Clear? Now, does all the fields have this option? See, if you go to INR, that also has a drop down feature, help feature. That is meaning your, so this field, any field which is accompanied with this symbol, with this particular icon, has a predefined data. It could be either defined by SAP, as in this case, or defined by the user. Now, since I have the drop down option for the currency field, I click on this icon. What does it do? It displays all the currencies available. Okay, so the standard SAP system has got all the international currencies predefined. So that is exactly the reason as to why you see this F4 icon. This is your F4. Now coming to the question that whether all the fields, do they have reference to the F4? Do they already have some predefined data? No, not all the fields may have the predefined data. Clear? So see here, the field is empty. The reference field is empty. It doesn't have any inbuilt or predefined data. It doesn't have. Document header text, that too doesn't have. Company code, cross company code, it doesn't have. Clear? So like this, it all depends on whether the field, the particular information, it is already predefined or you will have to enter something new. Clear? So this is about your F4 help. Okay. So what is it that we are left with? Is there anything else? Let me just think if I have missed out anything on the practical side to show it to you. So you are aware of this favorites. How does favorites help me? It will help me to keep the work in the sense I do not have to go through all the in other informations for me to get into my workspace. Suppose I'm authorized to create a customer master, I mean the asset master data. I would make that transaction as my favorite because I don't want to keep moving around. Like I'll access this accounting, then go to financial accounting, fixed assets, then asset, then create, then ES0. You saw the number of steps, what I took to enter into the same transaction. So to avoid this, I have created or I have made this transaction as a favorite. You can also remove this particular transaction from the favorite list. So I highlight this and say minus, delete favorites. If I delete, see, it goes out from my favorites menu. It goes off. Now, from the even before we proceed a little further into SAP, people were asking me, there was a very interesting question, maybe yesterday or the day before yesterday, I don't remember. Will SAP talk to the other tools? I said yes. Suppose I want to download this particular information, some report. Let me take, for example, I'll pick up some random report. Don't bother about what report I'm pulling out. Don't bother about what is there here. Don't even ask me what is INT. I'll explain this at the appropriate moment. Another feature of SAP, as far as the general information about SAP is concerned, whenever you want to execute, whenever you want to move on and you want to see a report or get activate a transaction, there is something called as an execute, which is similar or which is equivalent to your function F8 key. Okay. So I execute. This is just a report. You can see the transaction code S underscore ALR underscore. You can see the big name. I have simply extracted a GL account master list, which is called as a chart of accounts in the SAP language. Let us not worry about what is a chart of accounts, what is it called. I will talk to you about all this when I take up this topic. Don't bother. Now, all my requirement is my management asks me the list of general ledger accounts which my business is using. He's not interested in me taking the laptop and showing it to him. He wants it in the mail. He's sitting somewhere. Maybe he's in the US, I'm in India. Or I'm in the US, he's in India. What happens? I need to send them this information, right? So what do? I go to more, list, export, spreadsheet. Or I can also download it into a text file also. That also is possible. Word processing, spreadsheet, whatever. I click on the spreadsheet. I can select the format, whatever I want to download. I click on the tick mark, which is equivalent to your enter. See, it is downloading this SAP report into Excel. So I would say, I can change the format also, not a problem. I would retain the name export, no problem. And I will save it on my desktop. And I say save. So it will keep asking you for something. Just say allow. Now can you see that whatever you saw in SAP has got downloaded into the Excel file? Did we see the same thing in SAP? I'll open the SAP file. You see this 1,000 real estate and similar rights? Do you see the same thing in the Excel sheet also? So what is the size? So can you see the content? So there are 820 general ledger accounts which I have downloaded from my master in SAP to an Excel form. You saw the beauty? So this is one of the greatest factors, utility factors, as far as any end user is concerned, because he may be asked to present the SAP report in the form of an Excel, or maybe say even Word, or even say PDF or whatever. Clear? Now, is the reverse also possible? Of course, I'm not in a position to show you that reverse. Probably at the end of the session, maybe second, third week, I will be showing you that. Because for the vice versa to happen, for me to upload the Excel data into SAP, I need a different tool. This is not the method. All right. So SAP has given us a methodology for us to upload the Excel information onto SAP. Now you saw the SAP data getting converted into Excel. But sometime later, I will show you what is the tool that we use to upload the Excel data into SAP. And that is a very, very critical thing because that is the most important thing what we do during our cutover activities. We simply keep uploading the data from Excel into SAP. So that is where you make use of the SAP tool and bring in all the data in the Excel form. And during the cutover phase in our projects, we use the tool and upload the Excel data into SAP. Clear? Just for the information, I will tell you, we use a tool called, I'm just giving it to you as an information. Don't bother about it. LSMW. Legacy System Migration Workbench. This is your LSMW, and this is the tool what we use to upload Excel data to SAP. What LSMW is all about? First, let us try to understand the basics of SAP, then get into the LSMW. All right. I don't want to hurry up on these things. So now, did you see the example of how the data gets downloaded from SAP to Excel? All right. Now, any other thing? So probably, should I get into? So what more do I have to? As far as the generic information goes, is there anything which I have left out? Just hold on. You can help me out by asking questions. Okay, I think I have explained the four options. See, SAP GUI is the initial step. Even before you think of working on SAP, you need to have this GUI on your system. So it is not like only for practice or anything like that. Okay. Your GUI downloading is one of the preparatory activities even before you even think of working on any SAP system. All right. As far as the space requirements of the system is concerned, I am not very sure, but it does require a generous amount of space. All right. And please, okay. Yeah, it does take quite some space. Uh, we have still not gone into transacting on any specific company code, but we will be doing it majorly or not majorly, but all the transactions will be done only on company code GM01. Okay, just wait. We have still not started transactions. And yes, you will all be allowed as far as the end user activities are concerned. Probably you will be given access to your data entry transactions. That is assured. Okay, so that should not be a problem. But the only thing is, since you are new to SAP, you may not be given the access to your consulting screen, SPR. Okay, because it is not required for you to know about this course. It is not required for you to get into the consultant mode. All you need to know is how comfortable you are working as a end user. You don't have to learn. As I said, picking up the course from the consultant perspective is very, very different from that of a user. All right. Now, so we also went through this particular consolidation financial year of the business. All right. Let me pull up the course content. F4. So we have seen the technical help also. Do you want to see the demo just for an example? We'll just see the demo. I think we have already shown it to you on the live SAP system, but still, if you want to get more and more familiar with the course content, this is how it goes. So what is the aim? You are new to SAP and need to familiarize yourself with the transaction codes. In this demo, you will see how to execute a transaction. Okay. This is all system driven. Okay. You are not going to do anything. So he's simply taking up a HR transaction. Okay. You will not be given access to this PA30 and all because it is a HR model. Okay. Just to give you an example, he has gone into this. Clear? This is a example of your demo. So we have seen the /n/o/n prefixed followed by a transaction code. Okay, we have seen that. Let us look at this particular demonstration. Please do not miss this out. It gives you good amount of confidence. So everything it is actually the system is this is in SAP. This is called as a wizard. Okay. So this is how your demo slides they work. And the practice is nothing but see in the demo screen, SAP was the system was carrying out on its own. But in the practice, it will prompt you to enter some inputs. Okay, that is the difference. So you saw the various parts of the screen. I showed you this, the command box, what is an easy access, favorites list. So slowly, you will definitely get used to all this. Okay, let me see what is this demo. He has to create a favoritism. Let me just check. See, in this case, I took up the asset master as an example, but here in the thing, it says in this demonstration, you will see how to add the transaction incoming payments. That is a receipt from the customers and receipt from the customers as a regular transaction. And he wants to make this as a favorites. What is happening? So, or you need to click at the arrow only. So go to accounts receivable because this is incoming payment. So go to receivables, go to document entry, go to incoming payments, click on that. Go to favorites and click. See here, you can make a note that there is a difference in the screen. Not to worry, because this is a version of the GUI. This is an earlier version of the GUI, what they have taken. And yours will be the latest version. So as you can see, that accounts receivable incoming payments become the favorites. Okay, now the practice. I will just show you one example for the practice, how it actually looks like. So the same thing, I want to make the incoming payments as my favorites. In this demonstration, you will see the transaction incoming payments to the folder. So what this practice does is it gives you a insight or the hands-on even before you work on the real SAP system. Clear? But please make use of this, very, very helpful. very beautifully designed. So it is instructing me to click on accounting, click on financial accounting, click on accounts receivable, click on document entry, click on incoming payments. Where is incoming payments? Here is your incoming payments. Click on the favorites. Where is favorites? Top. Click on favorites. Click on add. See, it has got added. Accounts receivable, document entry, incoming payments. So this is the practice. Click on the SAP menu. Where is SAP menu? See here. That's it. So this is so tomorrow what we'll do is we will straight away get into. If you have any questions, you're most welcome. We can still answer those questions for the first 10-15 minutes, or probably have a recap and then enter into the tomorrow's topic. So tomorrow onwards, the plan will be to. So people who are excited about having a look at the practical side of SAP, probably they were satisfied today. So once when you get hold of the SAP systems, please see to it that you visit the menu, open and close the options, look for some options. All right. And more importantly, go through the study material, which is very, very helpful. And as you can see, you see the processes here, which will be discussed at a later point in time. Procure to pay, order to cash, hire to retire, plan to produce. OK. Now you have the SAP FI integration. See, when we were discussing about the integration, what were we talking about? The powers of SAP to actually talk to the different functionalities of the business. Some general topic I'm discussing. No problem. I have muted the audio. Integration with FI SD, FIMM, FIHR, FIPP. All right. We also have the asset accounting. So what is the concept of integration? Tomorrow or when we come down to this particular topic, I'm not going to talk about integration unless and until we have understood SAP Finance. Till then, I'm not going to talk about the integration because this needs a understanding in a different way altogether. And unless and until we are conversant with the SAP FI, you will not be in a position to appreciate the integration powers. OK, I was just showing it to you as to let you know what is in store. What is it that we are going to look forward in our future sessions. So tomorrow we are going to get a little deeper into the finance module. So today somebody asked me a wonderful question as to what is a consolidation. So we touched upon the consolidation concept also. All right. And of course, we would have definitely discussed the consolidation concept, but may not be necessarily today, but during the course of our meeting, we would have definitely discussed what is integrate. I mean, what is the consolidation? And as I said, there are still something more that I need to talk about the consolidation. So one is now today we have seen how you are letting the SAP system know that how the head office is connected to its child, how the child company or the company code is getting connected to the company. So what is a company here? The company is the group office or the head office. Clear? So I see these are all the points. So we saw this. What is this? This is your org structure. So, and this is the org structure with respect to your MM. So it doesn't have the controlling area. It doesn't have the operating concern. And it doesn't have the company also. Because as I said, the operating concern, your controlling area and your company, they are not mandatory. The only thing which is mandatory is your company from your finance model. All right. But just for us to know how the structure is built or to have a complete definition of the finance org structure or the organization structure, I have included your operating concern. I have included the operating concern, the controlling area, and the company with the statement that all these three are not mandatory. And this is only need based. Need based in the sense only when, see, for example, your operating concern, only when the cost and profitability module is wanted by your customer, only then you have the concept of operating concern. Clear? Madam, do we have any questions? No, right?
No, sir.
Okay. Then I think we can call it a day, madam.
Okay, sir. Sure, sure.
Because if I start something, probably I may not be in a position to complete.
Yes, sir. Sure. Okay,
So it is,
students. So,
yeah,
yes, yes, sir. Please continue.
no problem, madam. As long as they don't have any questions, we can wind.
So one question was there, what is cross company code?
Okay. What is a cross company code? Now, if there are any transactions between your TCS and your car manufacturing business of Tata, that is the cross company code. Did you understand? Cross company code is the transaction between the sister concerns under the same group. All right. Cross company code. That's it. But necessarily the transacting company codes need to be under the same head office. Else it will not be called as cross company code. Okay. So the cross company code, whenever your consumer business may be talking to the automobile business of Tata's, but necessarily both these fall under the Tata instance. So that is your cross company code. Yes, madam.
Yes, just a minute. For old students, sir, I'll just clarify this doubts for them.
Sure, madam. Sure.
That
Yeah.
those who have got Energy 360, please, you have the help document as well as the download button. You can download it. Just install the SAP GUI and keep it ready. Once you get the credentials, you can log in and then you can practice. And one more thing, SAP GUI does not work for Windows 7 as Windows 7 is an old version. So please update to Windows 10. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, that's it.
Yes, madam. If I want to start off on a new topic, it may take a lot of time.
Yes, sir. So we may wind up soon.
Sure, madam. Sure. So
Okay.
tomorrow morning we can
Yes.
start out with the new.
Yes. So students, we'll wind up for today. That's all for today, students. Have a nice day. Meet you all tomorrow at 11 a.m. for the SAP session. Thank you all. Have a great day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all.